All right, we're good there. So good morning, everyone. Happy Saturday. Hope everyone's feeling good. We're going to go over a quick live session of pretty much our scanners. We use Trade Idea scanners here, which is a service that is a scanning service for the stock market. It's a really great service. I love it. The only issue that I had with Trade Ideas and this grouping here, or this company, was that the scans that they provide were just not adequate. They're not going to suffice for what we're looking to do here. So the Trade Idea scans are great, but I had to custom build each one of our own scans. So I'll show you guys that here in a minute. But they do have some common scans. This is a $120 a month for this service that I pay for. That's our scanner service. The Trade Ideas platform is $120 a month is what I pay for the premium service I have. I've got 2 accounts running with them, so it's about $240 a month. One for options and one for our low floats as well. And the reason I have to carry 2 is they don't allow me to have 2 accounts and run them on the same computer. So because I'm running on a separate computer, I have to run 2 accounts. So anyway, Trade Ideas is a great service. You can build custom scanners through them just by going here, go to Windows, New, right there, New, and you can pick an alert window and you can start from scratch. And then they have some predetermined ones as well. So some filters are already set for you on some of these. Like I said, it took me a long time. It took me probably, it's been over a year now of building these scanners. And it seemed like they were changing every week. Every time I learned something new, I would then be adding that to the group and adding that to our filters. So it was a lot of work. It took a lot of work to get to where they are today. So the unfortunate part about it is if you start paying for the scanner service, again, it's $120 a month, and then you have to build your own scans to get them up to par to where we have ours. And so what happens is you end up taking a few months before you actually get them up to that level, if ever. And so you're paying that monthly service, a more expensive monthly service than you really need to. So the point of our Discord, one of the major, I think, value points of the Discord is that I provide all of the scanners for you, and I build them, I change them, I tweak them, I do all that myself. So no one has to do that on your own. So you don't have to pay for that $120 a month service. Instead, what you're paying for in our Discord, part of that, of course, is all education. And these alerts are for educational purpose only. There's no scanner that I'm going to trade off of immediately. So there's no scanner that I'll pick on this list and just start using and trading off of immediately. I have to pull up the charts, as you guys know. And let's go over a couple charts real quick. I just want to go over GMVD real quick. I know this one was a nasty move, guys. This one came out with an offering on Friday. So Friday morning in the regular market session, it came out with an offering, which it's the last thing you want to see, right? It is absolutely the last thing you want to see. It stinks because I know there's a lot of traders out there, whether you're trading the confirmation strat or not, that got caught in something like that. And this is what I'm trying to get everyone to avoid. This is why I try to help educate on this strategy every single day. And this isn't a video based on that strategy, so I won't go in great detail about it. But what I want to show you guys is this is where we took our trades live in voice. This is where I took my trade. So when we closed over the 250 level, which if I put my mouse right there, that line is 250. So technically speaking, this was the first candle right here that closed at 251. That closed over the 250 level. I got in this trade looking for a small gap window from the 250 up to this resistance 285, and I was lucky enough to get it. It wasn't crazy. It wasn't a proper setup, a high quality setup, because I was using the $half level. So really, you can call that luck, you can call it whatever you want, but it was trading the confirmation strategy using the 250 level, and it worked out for me. So I got my green on the day. After that, I mentioned that it was a cluster of resistance. So we have all these lines up here, right? So all these lines are telling me that there's a lot of resistance up there. And so there might not be a whole lot of potential for possible growth on my trade. And we come over here, you see these green arrows right before market open. This is the regular market session. This is pre-market session. The green arrows is the BBRSI indicator. So if you have this indicator, which is free for anyone who has TradingView, this indicator, you can set inputs and you can have it set to what you want. And it's just showing us that it was oversold. It was oversold. We had a predetermined level here. It bounced up. And if anybody caught that move, it was nice. This is not the type of play that I look for, though, right? So now we went up here, and let me turn these volume candles off so you guys can see the red and greens. Very easy. So we have these. We're very basic here. We're looking for a green candle to close over this white line. That's as simple as I can put it. Looking for a green candle to close over this white line. But because this wick hit that purple line, we want it to close over the purple line. And I have mine white and purple, and you can change your colors and all that good stuff to whatever you prefer. But we had this come up and close over the white line. So if anyone who got in that trade over that white line, the idea is when it closes back below that white line, it's time to bail on the trade. And we can see that it did that the very next candle and closed. If you were getting in at this white line, which was $3.06, if you were getting at 306, which is over here, $3.06, this candle closed at 304. So you take a 2, 3, 4 cent stop loss, you get out and you just wait for it to get back over that white line before getting back in. Well, they came out with an offering, and 9 times out of 10, I don't know why, but it happens when it closes under a support, and it just went from there. And you guys know the rest of the story from there. It just went completely down, had an 80 cent per share offering come out, and when it was a $3 price. So this is nasty, and this is not what you want to see. But I just want to go over this real quick, because if you had if you were trading the confirmation strategy and you were looking for a close above predetermined levels and you knew there was a cluster of resistance, in other words, there's a lot of reasons why not to take that trade. So I hope everyone avoided that loss in that trade, and if not, I just want to help understand my thought process behind it. Another one I want to go over just real quick is Pally, and I won't spend too much time doing this, but Pally, P-A-L-I, we all knew this one was moving all the last couple days, moving on an absurd $50 price target. That's just crazy. We had predetermined levels. I think I had a level below the 368. This is a newer level. I think it was like 364 or 360 or something like that. It never closed over that level, but that was a smaller time frame level, so I didn't care for that level as much. I mentioned earlier in chat, this level, the 385, is what we wanted to see it close over. And even that, when you take this gap and measure it, if I'm looking to get in and say I get filled right at that gap and right there, it's only a 5% type of move. So you got to weigh your pros and cons here, because if you go over some of these pink candles, that one's a 5% loss. Zoom in here. This one here is an 8% loss. So, you're looking for a 5% gap possible potential on your trade, and you're risking 8% possible drop because they have some nasty knives as well. So this never got over 385, so I was never able to trade it. In the aftermarket session, it then gapped up a little bit, closed over the level, closed below. That's our signal to bail. It almost filled the gap, but didn't quite fill it. Over here, we had a bullish vertical trend. You can see that on the chart. And so 5 or more green candles in a row, little breather, retrace, look for another close back over, and it just never got it. So that's Pally. Just want to quickly go over that for everyone. And let me pull the scanners up now. So back to trade ideas. I'm going to load up our scans. I go in here, and at night time, at 8 p.m. Eastern time every night, I come in here and do this. This is what I do. I come in here, I go ahead to the pre-market full. I've got so many ones in here. And so I pull this up, and I've got scanners on this page that you guys can see visually, but I also have scanners on other pages as well. So I have I'm just littered with scanners. A lot of the scanners I have on other pages are going to be duplicates of the scans that you guys see here. So it's hard to see these scanners. I'm not sure why Trade Ideas does this, but you can move these around. They're not docked in a window or anything. I have them just placed the way I want them to be, and you can actually resize them and move them around, which is really cool. But what I have is, and it's loading up, kind of taking its sweet time, but we'll get into it. But so we'll go over each one of these scanners individually and what I expect from them. This one in the middle is our volume race, and this is probably the most, visually one that stands out. It's the one that stands out probably the most, right? So this is our bullish momentum volume watch. I know that's a lot to take in, the bullish momentum volume watch. The idea behind this scanner is so that if you are able to visually see the scans, you can just pull this up and you can immediately see which stock is moving at that time. So in the pre-market session, these are our pre-market scans. I like to keep an eye on this race, very much so, because it's going to tell us where the volume is right now, not the overall volume in the market. This race is going to tell us where the volume is right now. And if you see down here on the right-hand side of this race, you can see this is listed as a a 5-minute race. And you can see it's counting down from the 5 minutes, right? So it's at 4 minutes and 30 seconds. So as these stocks go across to the finish line, this is the finish line here, and as they go across this this race here, or whatever you want to call this road, whatever, you'll see behind it the volume behind it as well. So if it's 4 minutes in, that means it's only 1 minute into its 5-minute race. So you'll see how much volume did it have in 1 minute. So you'll see that on the race. So if you see it is 4 minutes into its race and there's only 1 minute left on this countdown, then what you'll see is the volume behind it in the last 4 minutes. And it's hard to see this right here because of the way it is. Let me see if I put it on replay mode, if we get any results. So yeah, what you'll see, and it'll change too. So if we have, and whatever one is getting the most volume in the last minute or two will be at the top of this race. And generally speaking, there's only 1 or 2 on this list at a time in our pre-market session, especially in our recent, market's been very slow in our pre-market session. So this scanner, again, is a very good visual scanner to know where is the volume right now. And I'm not looking to trade volume later. I'm looking to trade volume right now. So if you just sign on to the scanners, you just woke up, you just got your coffee, you just sat down at your computer, whatever, first thing to do, check out this scanner. Check out the scanner to see what stock you should have pulled up to possibly trade at that time. It doesn't mean we're going to take trades on it. Again, none of these scanners are tradable. I'm not going to trade off of these scanners immediately. You maybe in theory could do that, but I would not do that. I would not recommend that because it's not going to establish consistency, and that's what we want. So again, this is our volume race. This is the bullish momentum volume race, which bullish momentum volume is a lot different from normal volume, and I'll kind of touch base on that throughout our scans because that's really the criteria of a lot of these scans. So whenever I click on any one of these scanners, you'll see that it highlights the top. So if I click on this one here, it highlights the top in bold. I don't know how I can get that to stay in bold. For some reason, it doesn't work out that way. I'm not sure. If I click off the screen on another scanner, it's going to change that one back to kind of a faint looking letters. And I've had a lot of complaints about, can we get this to be a little bit visually easier to see? And unfortunately, I don't know a way of doing that yet. And if I figure it out, I will. That's on top of my list, is to get this a little bit easier for everyone to see. I could add notepads to it, but then it gets all wonky and all that good stuff. So, but high of day plus volume, bullish momentum watch. So this is our bullish momentum volume race. That's where my eyes will go first. When I first get onto the computer, first get onto trading, this is where my eyes go first here. Second, I'm going to look at our gap up list. This is our gap up list here in the top right hand corner. It's not a large looking scanner, and I can blow it up so everyone can see what it is. We've got the symbol, we've got the gap percentage up, because this is a gap up scanner, not the gap down scanner. We'll go over that one in a minute. We have the price, we have the float, and we have the volume in shares total today. That's over here. If I can shrink that, there we go. So let me double click on this again. So you can move this around, but I've got the symbol, the gap percentage, the price, the float, which is really important, guys. The float is very, very important to my own personal trading here. And then we have the volume in shares today as well. So when we have results, so if I go to market hours, you'll see these are the type of results you'll get. So again, you'll get the ticker, you'll get the gap up. So it's going to be in order of which is gapped up the most. So this is where my eyes will go first to the scanner, then to this scanner. So that's going to let me know where is the volume, where is the value in the market. And that's my quick way to reference that. So let me go ahead and I'll just leave the results up on that for now. Below that, we have the volume watch. So this one is a little bit different than this volume race. The volume watch is going to let us know where the total volume is, the leader in total volume. So if I go to this, I hit market hours. Again, same idea, right? And I'll move this to the center so everyone can see and kind of make it a little bit bigger so everyone can see this. So hopefully it's a little bit easier to see. But on this list, we have the symbol, we have the price, we have the float, we have the volume, and we have the volume in 5-minute shares. So this is important to me because what this is showing is it's showing the volume in the last 1 minute. So, our strategy, my strategy specifically looks for a very specific number of shares required for me to take the trade. And that number of shares is going to change in the pre-market and it's going to change in the regular market session. So in the pre-market, this is important to me because I want to see which one of these has the most 1 minute volume. And we can see this one here has the most 1 minute volume, which is Pally, right? So unless, let me see, Wolf, no, Pally has the most. So down here we have, or next to it, we have the 5 minute volume in shares. So again, same thing. It's going to show us the number of shares traded in the last 5 minutes. Volume in 5 minutes, volume in the last 1 minute. So we have that right here. So you can reference that and see, okay, well, if I'm looking for it to have at least 30,000 shares and I see that the top one only has 10,000 shares, well, maybe it's time to watch that one, but it's not time to trade it. So that lets me know that real quick. So I'll move this back into the corner. And work with me, guys, because my screen's a little far out. It's hard to see, actually, for me. So next we have the gap down scanner. So we've got our volume watch. And again, this is going to tell us the total volume. So it's based on the total volume. So it's going to be in order of the total volume for the day. So a lot of members will come in chat and will say, where's the total volume? How much volume do we have today? And that's a good scanner to reference. So you can see which one has the most volume on the day just by looking at the top of that list. It's not real large. And that's because, again, it's not something that I always look at. I'm more looking at the volume race myself, but I do want to reference how much volume shares total is traded as well. Below that, we have the gap down list. Gap down list is the same as the gap up list, except it's the gap down list. So that makes sense, right? Double click on this, blow it up. We've got our gap down list, which I don't really pay too much attention to myself, guys. I don't look for bounce plays often. I don't look for reversal alerts or reversal plays too often. I traded a reversal alert on Friday on Pally. I got myself a red trade, first red trade in over 2 weeks. And then I went ahead and pulled myself red to green, luckily on that one, and also GMVD. But I don't typically look at these gap down type of names and stocks. And what you can see here is the gap down list is in order of, again, which one is gap down the most or the worst, right? And same idea, price, float, volume. And the float is very important to me because if it has a high float, I don't really want to trade that too aggressive. So I want to be aware of that. And you guys can see the float. If it's in blue, if these scanners are in blue, I can't shrink it. Let me see. Let me just exit it out for now. So forget that one. You guys know exactly where that is. But if you see it in blue here, right? Blue, blue, not blue, blue. We want to see it in all blues. And the reason for that is because it's letting us know that that's going to be closest to our high quality setup. Of course, we're going to need volume as well. But if you see all blues, that means that it's going to be having the right criteria for a possible A+ type of setup. Right. So that's the gap up, the volume watch. This is the bullish momentum volume. Below that, we've got the daily gap stats, and I lost the gap down list, but it would normally be here, so forgive me for that. But daily gap stats. So this one is one I'm still working on. This scanner I'm still working on, guys. This one's going to give us results. Let me see if I can get our results on here. We'll just go to all, I guess. It's going to take a minute to load up. But this one is going to let us know if it's a first day gapper, a second day gapper, a third day gapper. And again, I'm still working on this one. And what this lets us know is that if it's a first day gapper, then it's a little bit more attractive on the long side. And if it's like a fourth day or fifth day gapper, let me scroll down and see if I find one. Right here. So ICCM. ICCM was showing a fifth day gapper, so a possible short watch list, and basically, in other words, saying that it's exhausted. So if you pull up the chart, you normally would see that it's been gapped up for multiple days in a row, and for that we want to be careful because a lot of short traders are going to be looking for possible short entries on something like that. Let me scroll down, see if we can find another one. SI on let me see, when was the date? So this was on the 29th. So a few days ago. So SI on the 29th gave us that exact watch and said, hey, it's a 5th day gapper. You sure you want to take this trade? And again, I'm still working on these, or it was showing a 4th day gapper. I'm still working on this this scanner, but the idea and thought process behind the scanner is it's supposed to let us know if it's a 1st day gapper, 2nd day gapper, 3rd day gapper, and be aware of that. That way, we don't want to be throwing the kitchen sink at something that's maybe a 5th or 6th day gapper, because then we want to keep in mind that shorts may be eyeing that same type of trade for a short play. So want to be aware of that. It may be a little exhausted. So that's the idea behind that scanner. I'm still working and back testing on results on this, but I do have it available for everyone to see. And sometimes we catch some really great winners off of that. Below that, we've got the major red flag watch, which we all know what that is, I believe. Major red flag watch is going to be looking for bullish vertical trends, major red candles, and anything that's listed as the 5 major red flags. So sometimes you'll see on this list that you'll see, let me see if I get the results. So same thing, I'll get all again, all the results. Let me clear this one. Go to real time. All right, so on the bullish vertical trend, we can see there on this major red flag watch. So a lot of traders that come in here will assume that this is just for those major red flags or those major red candles. And it's not just to find those major red candles. It's also to let us know if there's a bullish vertical trend. And I've got 2 versions of this. So you'll see V2 version 2, and you got the first one there. So I have a couple versions of this. And so you have to be looking at the scanner to know exactly what it is. But if you hear that and you hear it say, hey, bullish red or a major red flag, and you hear that on the scanner, what that means is that there's something to be aware of maybe before we get into the trade. And so it helps me out because it lets me know that maybe there's conditions there that I don't want to be throwing the kitchen sink at that trade. So maybe it won't be an A+ setup. So we're going to have maybe all blues across the board here, but then if we see a major red, well, that's going to knock it out of its A+ setup. And that's what I like to assess before I get into the trade. So that's why I have all these scanners built to help us do that. So the major red flag watch, a lot of traders will assume that it's just for these major red candles that have been spotted, but it's not just for the major red candles that are spotted. It's also for a bullish vertical trend. And sometimes these scanners or this scanner will give us an alert before it actually gives us a full red candle or before it's a bullish vertical trend. But it's okay because, again, it's just giving us a heads up. So I don't trade off of the scanner, but I do use it to possibly look for those conditions before I get into the trade. So that's our major red flag watch. And you're going to see a few of these scanners on other layouts as well. So I won't go over them in detail then. So if you guys understand that or have any questions, just feel free to reach out. So that's our major red flag watch. Again, not looking for just the major red candles, it's also looking for bullish vertical trends as well, and it will let us know when it sees that. And you guys will hear the alert. There's a few different alerts that will come on. Usually it shouts out the ticker, and it also you'll hear my voice come in saying major red flag spotted. So that is our major red flag watch. Below that is our halt and resume scanner. So this is going to let us know when stocks halt. It's going to give us the time, which is very important because oftentimes it's going to be a 5 or 10 minute halt. In the pre-market, it may be longer because it may be pending on news. But if you have the time right here, you can add the 5 minutes to it and you can get the exact time it's going to resume. So you know exactly when to be prepared, when it's going to open up, and you have that 5 minute window to be able to mark the chart and get ready for trade. So the way I use it is if something hits this scanner, first thing I do is I look at the float size. So we've got the float right here. I look at the float, I look at the volume, and then I go ahead and start searching. Is there any news on this stock? Is it news pending or what's going on? Is there something that I should be aware of as an acquisition or what? And then I start marking the chart because if it's an acquisition, I tend to not really care about those much because they usually gap up to the right, to the price that they're going to be acquired at, and that's it. So for me, I don't really trade those as much, but if it's something that's halted and it's news pending, well, I'll go ahead and pull up the chart. You know, you pull over the chart and you start marking levels of interest on that chart, right? So that's the first thing I do. If I hear something halt on the scanner, first thing I do is announce it to you guys. Hey, there's this stock's halted. I go search if there's any news on it, and then I go ahead and start marking levels because you get usually about at least 5 minutes during those halts. So again, that's our halt scanner, and you'll see that the halt scanner is. Let me get rid of the results on a few of these. The halt scanner will show you green for when it resumes, and pink or red when it halts. So again, this is our halt scanner. It will show that pink when it halts. We look over, and if it says halt scanner alert, or it says something was halted, we take a look over here and we see, okay, it was IPDN was halted. It's got a 4 million share float on 228,000 shares traded today. Yes, I'll go ahead and mark that one, check it for news, and see if there's any value there to be possibly traded, right? So that's our halt scanner. Let me go ahead and get rid of these results. Now, let's go through of these other scans, this block of scans right here. Just kind of go right to left here. So this is a block of scans right here. So we have the Bullish Momentum Watch cheapo. So cheapos for me are any stock under $1. So anything under $1 is going to be on this list. And again, you have the time that the alert came through. You have the strategy, which is going to let you know if it's high volume or what's going on there. And then you have the symbol. So let's go ahead and load up some results on these as well. I'll go ahead and load them up on each one of these so you guys can see what the results would look like. And these, this whole block right here, I'm not overly, I don't use this block really myself. I built this block of scanners more so for some of the traders here in our Discord who are looking for these type of plays as well. Me specifically, I don't really care. I won't trade anything under $1. And and that's another thing too. I'm not going to get in the habit of marking charts that are under $1. And the reason for it is because if I'm sitting there, I've been in a situation where I'm marking a chart on one of these cheapos that's under $1, and I'll be marking it, and then before you know it, something else pops on the scans that's a little bit higher quality, and I miss out on it because I'm too busy focused on something that's lower quality. So I want to be focused on the higher quality scans. So for me, this block is worth watching if you like trading stocks under $1, if you're profitable doing that, which I'm not, so I stay away from generally myself. But I have seen some of these go from, $1 or 50 cents all the way to $5 as well. So I don't want to dismiss these stocks altogether, but I just want to be let everyone know that it's not the type of scanner that I'm looking to trade off of. So you can see under the strategy, you can see what kind of volume we have. Very low volume. You see that's in red. Volume, that's in yellow. Pink has high volume. So I color coded some of these alerts so everyone would be well aware if it's high volume, low volume, or what it is. And so that way it really stands out. I also took the time to add the strategy and the label to these. And again, through Trade Ideas, these are not normal alerts. I customized and built each one of these myself. So it took a very long time to get to this point. But in the strategy, I tried to add a little bit more information for everyone, and I tried to color code each one of these alerts. So that way, if it's red, red, hey, red's bad. I just, red's like a stoplight, right? You just associate it with, possibly a stop or bad or think about it or whatever, or at least I do. Yellow, you've got a little bit more volume. It's starting to pick up. Pink, that's high volume. It stands out. That pink kind of stands out for us, right? And we should have, I believe, green as well. Maybe not on this list, but we will on other lists as well. On the Bullish Momentum Watch cheapo list, it's going to let us know exactly that. Where is the value? Where is the volume? It's going to let us know where's the high volume on cheapo stocks under $1. And we've seen plenty of these gap up, and we have a lot of traders in chat that will make money on stocks that are under $1. For myself, I'm not profitable trading them. So this scanner, really, I don't pay much attention to myself, but it's more of a personal thing. So if you're looking for cheapos, here's your scanner. To the right of that, we've got the Volume Hunter. Now, this scanner I do watch, but not as intently as some of the others. And the reason for it is because this is a Volume Hunter list. And you know what's funny is this used to be our main volume hunter before I built our bullish momentum hunters. So this was our volume list. This is where our volume was. But the problem I had with this list was it would give us so many results that it was just, there was too many BS results. That's what it was. It was just volume. It wasn't bullish momentum volume. It was just volume. And there's a difference from just volume and bullish momentum volume. So I'm looking to trade bullish momentum. If you're a trader that looks for key breakouts, break of highs, new momentum, new levels, things like that, then look, that's what I'm looking for as well. That's the type of trader I am. If you're looking for a bounce play or maybe volume on something that sold off or something that maybe is curling down a little bit or it's been exhausted, then maybe look at this list here. But you'll see again, it's going to be labeled very low volume in red, volume in yellow. If we scroll down, there's a pink one there, high volume on PLTK. Keep going down. We should have more alerts like that. And again, they're color coded. Right now it's showing a lot of alerts, but it's not typically like this. I also have the scanner on a timer. So you're not going to see alerts on this one rapid fire. So again, I don't want to be alerted on this one as much because I'm not trading that type of stock. I'm not looking for bounce plays. I'm looking for trades that are going to hold up and are going to possibly break highs and continue. I'm looking for continuation trades. So I'm not really too in love with this scanner. I like it to let me know where the volume is. And of course, if something's going to reverse, oftentimes it will hit this scanner first. And so it's important if you're looking for reversals or bounce plays or oversold plays, things like that. This is a good scanner to watch. But for me, again, this whole block, I'm not watching as intently. Down below, left-hand side, we've got the bullish momentum watch large float. So it's very specific. This is a large float scanner. So again, my strategy looks for high quality setups being low float stocks. Now, I consider anything under 150 million shares to be low float. Anything. So if it's up to 150 million shares in the float, that is low float to me. Now, it's not A+ unless it's under, for me, 25 million share float. So because we have this scanner here, this is another way for me to be aware of the larger float moves, which some of these get really hot. And if they're paired with news, sometimes they can be really great. But my issue with larger float is that a lot of times it's heavily manipulated by brokers, and it's a little bit more manipulated by algorithmic trading as well. So I want to be aware of that. And I am aware of that by having this scanner let me know. So if I start hearing something rip on the scanner and you just hear the alerts over and over and over, then you look over and you see, oh, it's on our large float scanner. I'm not throwing the kitchen sink at that play or at that trade because it will not be an A+ setup. Sure, I can scalp it. Sure, I can make some money, and sure, it may continue up. It just means that it's not my A+ setup, and so therefore it's in the smaller block of scanners here. So to the right of that, we have the and each one of these same things. Strategy, very high volume, and in the green, there's our first green alert. That's very high volume. So typically in the green, if we have very high volume, a lot of times news is paired with that as well. So if you see those green alerts, a lot of times there's news associated with that. So definitely take a look at that and see if there's news. Larger float high of day. This is on the bottom right here. Larger float high of day. So this goes hand in hand with this scanner on the left-hand side. So this is the bullish momentum watch. This one's specifically looking for volume, and this one over here is looking for high of day. So this one's looking for stocks making new highs. So you'll see a number of results here on this list, sometimes consecutive, which is important, and you'll see that they have a higher float. So if you look over, it has the blue, which I need to change that, but the float's a little bit higher, which I need to change this so it's under 25 million, but typically it should not be blue. But you can see that the float is over 25 million. And so you can see it's a higher float than I typically look for. So this scanner on the right goes with this scanner on the left. So this is going to be our volume scanner. This is going to be our high of day scanner. So oftentimes you'll see it hit the volume scanner before it hits our high of day scanner. Right? So this block of scans right here is important for some traders. For me, it's not as important. I don't focus on these as much. Sometimes these scans, the bottom left and bottom right here, are a little bit more attractive. Cheapo watch, I don't care for that one myself. That's for other traders in chat. And the volume hunter, again, is for reversals mostly, and not my favorite. All right, so now we have the bullish momentum watch scanner. This is a personal favorite, guys. This is my personal favorite scan that we have available. And let's go over some of the history. Let me get rid of the alerts over here so you guys know exactly which one I'm looking at. And give me a minute, guys, because it's kind of lagging a little bit for me, I think, because I'm loading so many alerts at one time. And these alerts are from the other day. Some of these alerts, because I'm hitting all, these alerts are from as far back as it will go. All right, so on this bullish momentum watch scanner, this is why this scanner is so big. This is why this is our biggest scanner. The reason it's our biggest scanner is because it's our best scanner. In my opinion, this is by far the best scanner. This is what it's taken me so long to build. All of these scanners are very, very important to focus in on my strategy, but this scanner right here is very, very important to me. This is where my eyes will go. If we're going to find something of value, it's going to hit the scanner typically first. What this is looking for volume. This is not stocks making new highs. So don't misread that. This is not stocks making new highs. These are stocks that are getting volume. So it doesn't mean that they are breaking out on highs. It doesn't mean that they're near the highs. It just means that they're getting volume, but they're getting bullish momentum type of volume. So that's why it's on the bullish momentum watch. Again, favorite scanner here. You can see down the list, low volume. That's the red. You can see the green, very high volume on PLTK there for a minute. Let me scroll down a little bit. Let me see if I can stop this because it's being on the laggy side. So give me 1 second, guys. It doesn't look like I can stop it. All right. I'll have to delete this list in a minute. It's getting too long, so it's starting to really bog down the system and lag it out. And this is sometimes what happens throughout the day. That's why I have to refresh the scans as well. And that's, one of the issues it has. But you guys can see GFAI had low volume at this time. All right, so now I can scroll up and down. So you guys can see, all right, low volume is in red. We've got the blue, blue, blue. And why is that? Because we've got the A+ or possible A+ setup. And that's what the scanner's kind of designed to find. It's designed to find those higher quality setups fast. So if we're looking for high quality results and high quality potential on our trades, this is where we're going to see it right here on the bullish momentum watch. All right, so this should be right now. Hopefully it doesn't start screwing up on us again. All right, so what we can see is this was our first alert at 4:01 a.m. SBRO had low volume at 4 o'clock a.m. in the morning. So yesterday at 4 a.m. So this is when market opened a little bit. You can see that these alerts come through. We're going to have multiple alerts, and if we see consecutive alerts, that's very important to myself because, again, this is our bullish momentum watch. This is letting us know that there's volume and high volume, low volume, what kind of volume, but it's the volume we're looking for. So, again, this bullish momentum watch is the most important scanner I think that we have available. This, the race. So my eyes are going to go to the race first, the gap up, and then I start looking at this if I'm looking for fresh value. On the left of that, we have the high of day plus volume. So this is important to me because, there's a difference from stocks that are hitting highs, and there's a difference from stocks that are hitting highs on high volume. A lot of stocks are hitting highs with low volume, and I'm not concerned with that. So I want to be more in tune with stocks that are hitting highs with volume, and I want to be focused in on those alerts rather than wasting time with those low volume alerts. But we do have a low volume high of day scanner as well, and that's down here. So it's the same type of criteria that's going to give you the time, the symbol, the price, the float, and the volume, but it's going to be letting you know that, hey, there's low volume here. And we do have a specific alert that comes on that says high of day, low volume. And that's my voice that'll come through and let you know that, yes, it's making highs, and yes, it's time to pull it up and start marking the chart, but no, it doesn't have the required volume for me to take the trade just yet. So if it's going to have the volume that I need to take the trade, generally it's going to be on this scanner, and it's going to start making new highs on this scanner up above. But below it, we have the low volume plus highs. So a lot of times what you'll see is you'll see the results come in on this scanner. Then you'll start to see it hit this scanner, which means volume is starting to pick up. And then you'll see it hit this scanner, meaning that it's got the volume plus it's making new highs. And that's important. So this block of scanners here is personally my favorite block of scanners because they kind of work together. Again, this is our high of day plus low volume. It will hit this first, then you'll see it hit this, and it'll start telling you, hey, there's low volume, there's volumes picking up, hey, there's high volume now. So something you want to be aware of. And then on the left hand side, we've got the high of day plus volume. So that's pretty much our layout for the pre-market, and we've got all these different colored alerts. Again, green is very high volume, pink is high volume, red is low volume, and the yellow is just volume in general. So we've got all different colored alerts. I tried to color code them. I try to add the float on each one of these scanners because the float's very important. Why this keeps going down on me and doing this, I have no clue. Let me fix this. I'm not sure why it's doing that. So Trade Ideas is being very wonky today, guys. So that is our pre-market layout right here. All right, so now I need to load up our market hours. So that was the bulk of our pre-market session, guys. That's our pre-market session. When we come in the pre-market and you guys come in here live, that's what we're gonna look at. And you can see on here the pre-market full voice. It has 26 different alerts I have on there, so I have a few on the other page. This is our market full with options as well. This is gonna be 44 different windows that I have built, all customized. I'm gonna go ahead and double click on this, open up our list. And you guys can now see that. So this list, and it's taking a minute to load, so we might have some lag going on here today, guys. So just again, bear with me. But I'll go over from left to right on these scans, and then I'll go over which scan is most important to myself. So right now, it just looks like a basic layout. It doesn't look like anything special. And what you can see is on the left-hand side, I'll start from left to right. The left-hand side is exactly the same as our pre-market session. So it's the high of day, so HOD, high of day plus volume. So again, it's very important because we're not just getting BS alerts that, how many times have you guys seen in chat rooms where someone will say, oh, this one's making new highs, it's making new highs, but then you pull it up and it's got 200 shares traded. I can't trade that, guys. I can't trade that. I traded with some size at times. If you're trading with any real size, you can't be trading stocks that only have 200 shares traded in the last minute. So this scanner right here is going to let us know where is the volume. Where is the volume? So it's going to be making highs, yes, but it's also paired with volume, which is very important to us as day traders. We are hunters of volume and volatility, right? So that makes perfect sense. So we're looking for high of days, or the high of day plus volume, not just stocks making new highs. We're looking for stocks that are making highs with volume. And that's what that scanner is going to let us know about. This one to the right of that, that's our bullish momentum watch. So exactly the same order as our pre-market session. These two scanners are my two favorite scanners during the market hours. And the reason for it is this one right here is going to let us know where is the value, where is the volume at that time. And so again, we're not looking for volume overall, which is important, sure, but we're looking for specific volume on the last maybe 5 minute, 10 minute, 15 minute type of time frame where we want high volume now, not later, not before, not whenever, not in the future. We want it now. We want fresh, new, high volume. We want it now. And that's what this scanner is going to give us. This scanner is the high of day plus volume, so it has to be making highs to alert on the scanner. This scanner is not high. So this does not mean it's going to make new highs. It does not mean it's making new highs. This scanner is specific to let us know that this is going to be our bullish momentum. This is our volume. We're looking for volume, right? Let me see if I can get the results. I'm not sure why this is being so wonky, but it is. Let me see if I can get those results without it going all wonky on us. I'll leave those results up so you guys can see. But again, all color coded, very low volume. You can see that's in red. So whenever I see the red, what do I do is the first thing I do is I go ahead and pull up the scanners or I pull up the chart and I say, let me go ahead and mark this. If it has the right float size and it has volume, let me go ahead and mark this chart because it's telling me that there's very low volume right now. So I probably don't want to take a trade yet. But what it's telling me is I want to be prepared. So I want to get ahead of the game. So if you're looking to be prepared before these moves happen, if you're always finding yourself, too late to the game and you're too busy, marking the chart when it's popping off and going off, look at these lower volume alerts. This is trying to give you a heads up and let you know that there is value here. It's just not enough volume for us to really be throwing the kitchen sink at it. So until there is volume, maybe we just need to get prepared and ready. So you can go ahead and mark the chart. So that's our scanner to go ahead and do that. So if you see the red, very low volume, that means go ahead and mark the chart. It's possibly going to be going from there. We've got, again, breaking news hunter on GMVD. Sure enough, it did have news, but it was bad news, right? It ended up going down on that news. But GMVD had a lot of volume and it just gapped down from where it was, and it did have news. So we have scanners in here that are trying to find where there is possible news. So that way we don't have to be scrambling looking for that news specifically, because I don't specifically need or I don't need a specific type of news to trade. I don't really even need news to trade, guys. I need volume to trade. I need volume, momentum. I need the right size flow. I need the right size, right price. That's what I need. I don't need news. That's not a requirement for my strategy, but it would actually add value if there was news. Whether it's good news, bad news, doesn't really make a difference. As long as there is news, it draws attention to that name. So it draws more volume possibly to that name. But you can see breaking news hunter. You can see that's in green. That means it's very high volume as well. Very low volume in red. Let me see if there's any other colors. Here's the pink. Pink is letting us know that there's high volume there. So I like to see it in the pink. I like to see it in the green. Sometimes in the green, it means it's such high volume and there's news that it might have a little pullback as well. But you guys can see that there. So we have the yellow as well. So that's our bullish momentum watch. And these two scans, again, are my two favorite scans. These are the scans I'll be watching pretty much all the time during regular market session. If I'm here at the computer, that's what I'm looking at. Next to that, we have the Find It First scanner. The Find It First scanner is our crystal ball scanner, guys. And this is why I wanted to have this session, is to go over these scans right here. This scanner right here is our Find It First scanner. It's designed to find stocks before they get too much volume or too much momentum before that move happens. So again, same thing. A lot of these alerts are going to come through with low volume. They're going to come through with very low volume, right? So because they have low volume, it doesn't mean I'm going to throw the kitchen sink at them right away. But what that does mean is that I may want to pull up that chart and start marking that chart for possible trades later on. And as you can see, when I pull up the results here at 9:38 a.m. on Friday, we had an alert on IMMR saying that there is low volume, or Find It First, right? It only had 500,000 shares traded, which is pretty low volume for that time of day, because we had the pre-market session as well. And we can see that it also gave us the alert letting us know that low volume, mark the chart. So this is a very specific alert coming through letting us know that there's low volume and mark that chart. And why is it saying that? Because it's in the criteria for a possible high quality trade. So it's lacking in a few of the conditions to make it a high quality trade, but it does have some of those conditions. So if it gets the other conditions met, so maybe it's lacking in volume, and maybe if it gets that volume condition met as well, maybe it's worth taking a look at it and possibly trading. But we can see we had a few alerts on here. Let's see, GMVD was on the list at 9:32. And the alerts specifically are not what I'm looking for. What I'm trying to get across here is this scanner I will not trade off of blind. I will not just trade off of any of these scanners blind. But this scanner is so important to me during the regular market session. And if you guys see me marking charts throughout the day, 9 times out of 10, it's coming off of these two scanners. So we have this scanner here, the Find It First scanner. It's looking for stocks, generally speaking, with lower volume that have not made those major moves yet. So maybe you want to get prepared. If you're looking to get on top of these moves before they happen, this scanner is going to help you do that. That's our Find It First scanner. It's like I call it the crystal ball scanner. So that's going to let you know where the move is first. Let me get the alerts off there. All right, so the one below that is our low volume mark charts. So this one is very, very specific. It's letting you know that there is low volume there. It's also letting you know you need to mark the chart. You should mark the chart on this one. And why? Because it has a possible move in front of it. And so we want to get ahead of those moves before they happen. So if you're looking to get ahead of the game and ahead of these moves before they happen, this low volume mark charts scanner is going to give you that advantage. And so is the Find It First scanner as well. So let me go ahead and get some of these results on here so we can see what it looks like and what we look at. And I love these scanners, guys, because again, and this one's a little smaller because it's down below. What this is showing is that these stocks are making highs. So each one of these stocks on this list, the mark charts list, the low volume mark charts, these are stocks that are making new highs, but they're doing it on very little volume, right? So yes, they're making new highs, but they're doing it on such little volume that I can't throw the kitchen sink at it. Not yet, at least. I have to mark the chart, get prepared, and look for momentum, look for more volume, look for maybe breaking news, something to pair with that to really add conviction into my trades. So we scroll down to the bottom at 9:30, we had PYXS, you had at 9:31, you had SI getting some volume, right? Low volume here on SI coming in. We have low volume mark the chart, and you have different alerts on this this scanner here, but they are all going to be the same. Low volume, mark the chart. The criteria on the right will let you know if it's going to be high quality or not. If it's over 25 million shares, as you can see here, this is a 30 million share float. You won't see it in blue. So that's not going to be an A+ setup. Yes, it might be high quality, but no, it will not be A+. If it's going to be A+, you're going to see blues across the board. So right here, BBAI, $2 price. It's blue. You see the blue float. And what we're looking for is the volume to get up into the blue as well. So you can see on this scanner is a low volume mark the chart scanner. So guys, this scanner above this one, the find it first and the low volume mark charts, these two scanners are so important to me because they are going to find the value before the value is really there. They're going to let us know that there is some attention coming into this name and it's lacking in some of the conditions, typically usually volume. Usually it's the volume that it's lacking in. And so the only thing we need is to mark the chart and get ready and prepared for volume. So you mark the chart and then you measure those gaps and you just set alerts and say, okay, well, this gap is a 10% gap. Maybe I want to take part in that trade if it gets the volume. So let me go ahead and set an alert. And this scanner will let you know about those type of moves first. And that's very, very important. I think that's really cool and really important and an added feature and value that we have. And again, these are custom scanners. You will not find these. It took me a long time to build these the way they are. You're not going to find these just the way they give them. So we've got, all right, to the right of that, we're going to go up to the top and we're going to see the major red flag watch. Yeah, anytime, Joe. Anytime. So the top right here, not in the top right, but we have it right here. You guys can should be able to see it moving around. But major red flag watch. Again, it's very, very important, guys. This is not just looking for major red candles. Okay, so if you hear me come in here in voice and you hear the note you hear it come in and say, or my voice say major red flag spotted. I think that's the alert. When you hear that alert, it does not mean it's a major red candle. Okay, it does not mean it's a major red candle. It means that it could be a major red candle and it could be a one of two different variations of a bullish vertical trend. So what it's letting us know is that there's a possible red flag there. So don't take this scanner and just say, oh, it's a red flag. I can't trade that. That's not how I go about this. It's a heads up. It's letting us know before it happens that there is a possible red flag here. And so you need to be aware of that. So that's for me specifically and my strategy. So if you're trading confirmation, then this is really going to be helpful for you. If you're not trading confirmation, I think it could still be helpful for you. But if you're trading the confirmation strategy, it's very specific to our strategy. It's the 5 major red flags. It's looking for those major red flags before I get into my trade. And again, that helps me assess what type of size do I want to take? Where do I want to put my stop loss? Do I want to throw the kitchen sink at it? Do I want to hold back? Do I even want to take the trade? Do I want to avoid it? So again, major red flag watch, and very specific and very important, guys. It is not just looking for major red candles. It's also looking for bullish vertical trends. And it was hard to build the scanner or tough to get that scanner to be accurate, and it still is not perfect, guys. There's times where it will give us an alert. You'll pull up the chart and you'll say, well, it's not really a bullish, it's not really a major red flag yet. Again, it's to let us know that there's a possible major red flag there. So have that alert or know that alert is coming through, and know that whatever ticker you see following that alert is the one that you want to be watching for a possible major red flag, and you want to be wary of that. Below that, we have the bullish momentum large float scanner. So this goes hand in hand with our scanner in the pre-market session as well. It has a larger float. That's exactly what it is. So it's the same as this bullish momentum over here. So if I'm looking for value with a larger float, this is a scan I want to look at. So I'm looking at these two scanners the most part of the day. But this one over here, if you're looking for something that's a little bit larger float, you're going to see it on this scanner. Now, anything with a larger float will not be an A+ setup for me. So I tend to stay away from that scanner and tend to stay away from those trades a little bit more so myself. But if we see that the float is over 100 million shares, I'm a little bit wary to take those type of trades. But if we see it's under 50 million shares, then maybe it's larger float, but maybe it's not out of my scope of what I want to trade, depending on where I'm at that day for risk tolerance. So, but the bullish momentum large float scanner, same thing. Let me see if I can get some history in here on this list so you guys can see some of those results. It's the same as our other one. It's looking for not stocks making highs. It's looking for stocks that have high volume. So we're looking for volume into those names. And you can see prime time right there. Prime time is a very specific alert. We have this on a few of our scanners. Prime time means it's meeting a lot of the criteria for it to possibly break out and get highs. Now, it does not mean it's an A+ setup, but what it means is it's getting so much volume and it has other conditions met, that it's, in my opinion, it's a prime time. It's time to watch that stock is what I'm saying there. So I labeled it as prime time. So if you're looking at that, IONQ was all over the list the other day. Let me go down this list. Let's go down to the 9:30. So at 9:30, $5.40 on IONQ. That was our first alert at after the open bell. So I'm pretty sure you guys saw IONQ continued up from there. If I scroll up to the top here, our first alert, there's IONQ at what, $7, $6, $6.50, $6.50 right there, right? So again, $5.40, $5.39. That was our first alerts at 9:31 a.m. yesterday, and then it continued from there. Now, it had 134 million share float. So for me specifically, I probably wouldn't trade that. To be honest with you guys, I can trade that. If it's the only stock moving, I can trade it. I may trade it, but it really depends if I have a cushion already, if I'm, if I'm that eager to trade, if if I'm worried about risk tolerance, things like that. So it really depends on where I'm at in the day. But typically, I'll stay away from something because the flow is higher float than I look for. But you can see there's value there, right? 540 all the way up to, 540 up to 10 a.m. Sure enough, it was 650. So it's $1 move off of that alert and off that scanner. And this shouldn't be giving a whole bunch of BS alerts either. And each one of these is going to have a colored alert as well. I've got the low volume and the white, or I think that's white, basically, or the tainted color there, basically because we just don't care. The volume is going to be yellow. The blue is prime time, and it might be subject to change, guys. I might change it around a little bit, but what I'm trying to get across is some of these colors to stand out. So right there, breaking news finder and IONQ, so it's letting you know that there might be breaking news on IONQ. You can see that there's very high volume. You can see that's prime time. So there's a lot of alerts here and a lot of value letting us know that, hey, if you're looking for value in the market, there's your value. Here it is. And as you can see, as I scroll up all the way to 9:55, you don't see too many BS alerts, and that's because of the filters I have set, and that's why it took so long to get these scanners to where they are. And that's why I think these scanners are so amazing, is because, again, they eliminate the BS alerts. But again, this is a larger float scanner. So you can see on this list, all of these are going to have a larger float than the A+ setups I look for. So if I'm looking for A+ setups, I'm looking for high quality, I'm looking at these scans over here. This is not the scanner I'm focused in on if I'm looking for very high quality. Does not mean that this won't go off. It does not mean we won't get $1 move out of IONQ. What it means is if you're looking for very high quality, it's going to come over here. If there isn't very high quality moving, maybe there's some lower quality names on this list over here. So that's our bullish momentum large float scanner. It's based on volume. It is not based on stocks making highs. This is for volume. So I'm going to get rid of the history here. Bullish momentum watch cheapo below that. It's exactly what you think. Exact same thing. We're looking for volume, but we're looking on stocks under $1. Again, I do not care about this scanner myself. Specifically, guys, to be quite frank, I do not care about this scanner myself. This was built for members of our Discord. We have members that trade cheapos. We have members that are successful trading these cheapos. I am not one of those. I do not trade stocks under $1. I don't waste my time marking stocks under $1. That's me. It's a personal thing. If you guys are making money trading stocks under $1, well, maybe you want to take a look at this scanner here. It's going to let you know that there is bullish momentum watch or bullish momentum coming into one of these cheapo names under $1. So that's a smaller scan down here, and that's why it's a smaller scan, because I'm less attracted to something like that. I would not recommend new traders to be looking at that scanner and trading off of that. I would be more focused on higher quality alerts and look for consistency. You're not going to, I haven't found consistency trading cheapos, but again, that's more of a personal thing. Top right, we have the change from open. So this is going to be the percentage up from open in order from the percentage change from open. So if I go to the last alerts that we had, so it's going to show us what stock is up the most since open, not close from yesterday. Okay. And that's very specific. Why I love this scanner so much is because, again, it's showing us where the value is today, now, not yesterday and not overnight. We're looking for the value now. So if I'm looking for, again, bullish momentum, and I'm looking for something that may have continuation, if I'm a continuation breakout key gap trader, then I'm looking for a stock that's gapping up from open today, not from yesterday and not from close. That means from 9:30 a.m. in the morning Eastern time, it is up at least 1, 2, 3%, and it's hitting this alerts or this scan here, and it's going to be searching every I believe it's every minute. It keeps continuously is searching, but what you'll see again, you'll see the symbol, the price, the change from open in percent, and you'll see the float and the volume. And that's very important to me because, again, if I see that the flow is, a huge float on one of these names, and I see it's a cheap price in red, and I see the price is red, the float is in white, and it's not blues across the board, well, I know that's not going to be my A+ setup. I know that's not my high quality setup. So yes, I can trade it. No, I won't throw the kitchen sink at it. So again, these scanners are designed to find the value, but it's also trying to help you eliminate where's the BS and where's the high quality. Where's the BS? Where's the high quality, right? All right, below this we have, let me go ahead and clear this off. Below this, we have the volume leaders. So this is going to let us know that where's the volume, and not specifically to that time frame. So we're not looking for 1 minute volume, 2 minute volume, 5 minute volume. It's not about that. It's about overall volume. So where's the total volume on the day? And the reason I want to see that is because wherever the total volume is means that's where the most liquidity is. That's where the most attention is on the day. Whether it's gapped up or gapped down is going to be a different story. Typically, all those will be typically gapped up from the day before, but they're going to be on high volume, and we want to see that. I want to see an order of which stock is going to be the most volume and which one is the least. And so we can see that yesterday Pally was at the top of the list, and that's because it had 39 million shares traded, and you can see that right on this list here. And you can see 39 million shares traded on Pally, 29 million shares traded on BBAI, 18 million shares on YMAB. So we can very quickly reference where is the value in the market, where is everyone looking. So again, if you just showed up to work and it's 9:35 and you missed the pre-market session, take a look at the gap up from open and take a look at the volume leaders. If you see the same name on both of these lists at the top of the list, that's a plus. We want to see the leader in volume, also the leader in gap percentage from open. That would be an ideal situation. If not, then it's a different story. But the higher volume, maybe you want to look for reversal plays. Maybe you're looking for a reversal play. A lot of times you'll see algorithms and reversal plays happen off of higher volume. So you can see that in that scanner. So very important scan. Below that, halt and resume scanner. Same thing. You guys get the idea. Same thing as the pre-market scanner. We have stocks that come on with the halts and stocks that come on with when they resume. Now, you'll see the time as well. It's very important. I have the time listed here. Add 5 minutes to that time frame, and usually that's when it's going to unhalt. Usually it's a 5 minute halt, unless it's a 10-minute or news pending and longer. But if it's a 5 minute halt, just add 5 minutes to the exact time. You'll get it down to the exact second of when it's going to resume. You've got that 5 minute window to let you know, to start marking the chart. You know if the flow is good, you know if the volume is good, so you'll be able to pull up the chart, get prepared for when it resumes. So if you're looking for halts and you like playing those type of trades, you can go ahead and look at that scanner there. Below that, another personal favorite of mine. So these two scanners here are my two favorite, left-hand side, over on the left. On the right-hand corner, this is probably my third favorite scanner. And the reason for it is because this scanner is, again, a volume race and a bullish volume race. So if I want to quickly just show up, usually I take lunch off and I come back during after lunch. First thing I do is just take a look at this scanner here. It'll give me a quick visual of where is the value in the market. This is a volume race, so you'll see the leader of this race will usually be the highest volume in the last 5, 10, 15, 20 minutes, whatever it may be, in the most recent time frame. So take a look at this one if you're looking to see where is the value right now. And usually you'll see 1 to 3 names on this list, but it can have up to 5 names on this list. But typically there's not going to be 5 names with bullish momentum, not in the market that we've had lately. Usually we'll see 1 to 3 names at most, and typically you'll see one name really leading the pack. And you'll see that the volume race is a It says 6.5-minute race, which is odd. It's supposed to be a 5-minute race. But same idea. It's a 5-minute race. So it'll be counting down from 5 minutes, and you'll see the volume behind it. You'll see the actual volume in shares. So it will also tell you, yes, that's the leader. That's the one to be watching right now. And it'll also let you know how much volume there is in the last however many minutes or whatever it may be. So 5 minutes here is the time frame. So that's our bullish momentum volume race. And again, very important scanner to myself during the regular market session, because I can quickly visually reference the scans and let me know from this scanner and these two scans here, where's the value right now and what chart should I have up and pulled up at this time. So that is our market session scans. Let's load up the post-market scan. So back into Trade Ideas. We've got post-market plus end of day scans. So I've got a couple pages of scans here to go over. But this one should be pretty quick because it's pretty self-explanatory. I do have some adjustments to make on this this layout, so I will still be making adjustments. I'm not quite there yet. I might get to it this weekend. If I do, I'll let you guys know what changes I make. But I do have adjustments to make on the post-market scans. I don't typically trade in the post-market, so I'm not here to see how these scans, what the results are as much. So anyway. Left-hand side, post-market highs. This is exactly what you think. It's stocks making new highs, and they are in the post-market. So we're looking for stocks that are making post-market highs. It does not mean that they're making new highs on the day. It means they're making new highs in the post-market. So in the aftermarket. We have on the right-hand side of that, we have post bullish momentum watch. So same idea. These are stocks that are getting volume and bullish momentum volume in the post market. So it needs volume in the post market to even be hitting these scanners. So we're going to see those alerts on here, and same thing. It'll be color coded with alerts, but I'm going to go over this one pretty quick. To the right of that, we've got post highs, large float. So you guys get the idea, right? It, again, has a larger float. So these two scans are going to be higher quality. This one is going to be lower quality. And so stocks like RUM, R-U-M the other day, RUM came on this scanner, not these two scans. RUM came on these two scanners here. This scanner and this scanner goes hand in hand together. This is the post bullish momentum watch large float. It's a long name. Same thing, large float. That's the specific here. That's what's important. These are larger float names. So yes, they could get going. Yes, they could have continuation. No, they are not A+ setups. So this will never be an A+ setup if it hits these scanners. If it hits these scanners, it can be an A+ setup. Doesn't mean it is, but it can be. But this scanner, the post high and large volume and the post momentum large float, both of these are large float scanners. So it makes sense. Below that, we've got the post highs cheapo. So you guys know cheapo. Again, cheapos are stocks I consider under $1 to be a cheapo name. So anything under $1, you're going to see on this list. If it's starting to get new highs, you'll see it on this list. If you see it have volume, it should be on this list. So again, these ones are both the same, I believe. Let me see this. Post bullish momentum watch. I think I need to change that to cheapos. Let me make sure that this is cheapos. Hit all real quick. We'll let the results go on there. As I'm waiting for that, we'll go over to this side. And yes, it is cheapos. So I need to change the name so it says cheapo, so you guys are well aware of that. But these two go together, okay? So we've got this one, post highs cheapo, and this is post bullish momentum watch, again, cheapo. And you'll see that the price is all always going to be cheap stocks. Let me stop this now. So these are the cheapo scans. Again, I'm not too in love with these scanners, but especially in pre-market and post-market, market seems to love cheapos. I know, again, we have traders in chat that are really well at trading cheapos. So keep an eye on these two scanners and you can get value there. Top right-hand corner, gap up scanner. This is our gap up scanner in the post market. So it's going to let us know what stock is gapping up in the post market. And it's going to let you know the post market change percentage. It's going to let you know the post-market volume, and it's going to let you know the post-market, the float, as well. So the float is very important. The share float is very important to me. I want to see that it's a low float. So if we see it's gapping up, but it has a huge float, well, I don't really care about that as much. So this is our gap up scanner in the post market. Below that, our gap down scanner in the post market. Same idea, just reversed. I just don't care about this one as much because I'm not playing those type of plays typically. Below that, our major red flag watch, same as the other scans. It's the same idea. It's a major red flags. It's going to let us know, again, very specific and important, guys, not just major red candles. It's also for bullish vertical trends. So it's just letting us know that there may be a red flag there. Pull up the chart and be aware that there may be a condition there that's going to be a red flag, and you don't want to throw the kitchen sink at it. Below that, we've got the reverse scalp large float, and this one is a little bit we've had this one for a long time. This one is specific to larger float names. What it's trying to look for is stocks that are really gapping down hard, and typically it's on news, and looking for a possible oversold reverse or reversal. But again, it's going to be larger float. You can see that LG float, larger float. So I'm not as in tune with this one myself, although we've had some really great trades off of this scanner as well. I just haven't had time to back test this scanner to really see what kind of results it is and see if I should be consistently trading off of it. But a lot of traders have done well with this one. This is a reverse scalp large float scanner. It's going to let you know any stock that's just gapping down really hard and possibly look for a reversal. Below that, halt and resume scanner, same idea as before, guys. That is our halt and resume scanner. I'll let you know what stocks are halting and which ones are still going. All right, Natty, appreciate it. Thank you. All right, so I've got another screen up on here. This is going to be our end of day scans. So let's see what this looks like. So this is our end of day scanners. You guys don't typically see this as a block like this. What I do is I usually take a screenshot of this page and I cut it down to each one of these scanners individually, and I try to add these into our end of day scans. So if you guys go into our Discord, let me pull up the Discord. If you guys go down to the Discord and you go to, let's see, the premium extras, you'll see the oversold channel, the swing ideas, you'll see the short squeeze, the low float, you'll see all of these here. And when you see that, what that is going to be our end of day scan. So that's this this layout that you guys have here. So let me go ahead and hit, we'll get some of these in here for these results. So this is every day at the end of the day, I try to scan for possible value in the next day, and I put out a watch list. That watch list is built off of these alerts. So the watch list that you guys get every day is built off of these scans that I have here. So these are going to be our results. And just to quickly go over, we have the Bullish Bob Island of Misfits. So these are stocks that were gapping up recently, on high volume, and they basically were tapering back down. And basically at this point, they're getting no volume. You can see that the volume percentage today is very, very low. And so at one point, they were very, very hot stocks, and they gapped up like crazy, and now they're fizzling out and they're not being traded or played with as much. So sometimes I've noticed that these get a bounce again because of that exact reason, because they just were toyed with before and now they're not. Not my favorite type of trade to be taking, but it is something to watch if you're looking for that. Below that, we've got the oversold watch. Oversold watch is looking specifically for stocks that are pretty much oversold, with some of the conditions met to show us that. And this is where we're going to have that oversold watch. So if you guys take a look in the Discord, if you go to the watch list, you'll have, this is that watch list right here. So you have the watch list every day. This is how this watch list is compiled, is through these scans. So the oversold watch, that's where I get from this list. You can see this one's down from 7 days consecutive down, and you guys can see this every day. I add these every single day for you guys to go over the day before the market opens, so that way you can be well aware of these moves. BBAI was moving the other day. This one was on our short squeeze watch from Thursday night. So if I go down to the short squeeze watch, you guys will see I had BBAI here at $1.99, made the short interest and possible squeeze watch list. So $1.99, and now the result will be, it'll also be on there, but it's $2.44. So you see the value there. You guys see that, and that's a short squeeze mention. It's showing that the short float percentage is 52%. So these are going to be our scans. That's our high short interest scanner. Over here, I've got the, let's see, the volume hunter. So this is one of our volume hunters here. Going to show us the leaders in volume. We can see Pally was at the top of that list. You can see the volume right here is 39 million shares. You can see the float, the RSI, all that. So that's right there on Pally. The list below that, that's our end of day final 15-minute volume scan. I use this one to help out our early bird watch, so our early bird crew. So on the watch list, you guys will have the early bird watch as well, and this is for our 4 a.m. traders. So anyone who's up early at the 4 a.m. window, this is going to be for you guys. And I don't add this one into our end of day scans, but what I do is I add a list of early bird stocks to watch, and it comes off of this list. And that's basically stocks that were getting high volume before the market closed, and so it might get attention the next morning as well. So hopefully that makes sense. Below that, we have the micro watch. So these are going to be this is going to be stocks under 1 million share float. So you can see that the float size 721,000, 958,000, 941,000. So stocks that have under a 1 million share float, I consider to be micro float. And so this is our micro watch. I added that. It's a new list that we have at the end of day. Top right, we have the 52-week lows. Now, this one's pretty cool because, some days, it's not always the case, but some days these 52-week low floaters are what's hot. So, there's nothing else moving, and sometimes that's where we get these other ideas for what could possibly move. You can see that the price is in red, a lot of cheapos on this list. Then we got HKD, we've got BIG. So you have some information on this list. You have the volume in total shares, you have the float size, and you have the position and the year range. So if you see it like this one, FRGT, that should show us that it's pretty much in the last year, it's down, to its lows on the year. This one, you can see it's close to its lows, not quite at its lows. So that's what this bar is showing us. So if you ever see that red bar and you're not sure what the heck that is in the end of day scans, that's what it is. How close is it to the to its yearly lows? So that's our 52-week lows right there. So these ones are pretty cool. I make a list of those as well. Below that, we have the volume hunter. The BB volume hunter is another variation of our volume hunter. So we've got two different volume hunters in two different type of conditions looking for. YMAB was the volume hunter and leader of the day on this time frame. Let me see. For some reason, it's not letting me mess around with this. But this is just another volume hunter. So we have two different volume hunters, two different search criteria for those. I add both of those into our end of day list. So if you guys hop over to the Discord, you'll see if you go onto the premium extras, the volume hunter, click on that, and you have these every day. I try to post these alerts and these scans so you guys can see where was the value the day before. It was on PYXS that day. Where was it on, a week ago? It was on SI, right? So you can see that the day before. That way you know exactly where the specific volume will be. I think that's it. We do have option scanners as well, but I'm not sure I'm going to go over those right now. I think I'll save that for another session. So this is pretty much the bulk of our scans. Let me get rid of this. As you guys know, if you guys have been trading with me, a lot of you have been trading with me for a while. I don't trade based off of news. I know that sounds weird. I know a lot of traders probably think that I'm crazy for that, but I don't trade off of news. I trade off of volume. It needs to have high volume for me to be interested in possibly trading. It's my pleasure, Joe. Yeah, I appreciate you guys coming this morning. It's Saturday, guys. I know it's an off day for us, but we're always studying. We're always trying to get better. And the same thing with these scanners, guys. I've got these scanners are subject to change, and if they change, I'll let you guys know what changes I make. But we have not changed these scanners in probably the longest I've ever not changed them. So I think I'm at a point where I'm so comfortable with what we have going here and so confident in our scans that I don't want to mess with them too much. So it's something that's really working out. Now, if the market gets really hot, Natty can tell everyone about this too, and Big Cat and a few other traders that have been with me for a while. There's been times where the market was hot and the scanners were so annoying, right? There was too many alerts on them. That's what led me to really design these scanners to be more specific and eliminate the BS alerts. But the thing about that is now we're kind of in a more bearish market, and so we're not getting as many alerts for that reason as well. So we have very good scanners, very specific scanners that'll be looking for the value in the market, but we also have right now a pretty bear market. So if it's quiet, a lot of that has to do with it. And sometimes I'm going to be streaming these scanners sometimes on YouTube to add value in there as well, but it's going to be delayed. Everyone in YouTube is going to be delayed about, I think it's like 15 to 30 seconds or something like that. So it's not going to be as fast as what you guys are getting here in chat. But keep in mind that none of these alerts are to be traded alone. This is for educational purposes. Pull it up, mark your charts, and trade the strategy that you are confident with and you're making money with. If you're not profitable and not consistent as a trader, then definitely establish consistency first. I recommend establishing consistency with as little as possible, if not even in a paper account. But I do like to trade with real money. So if you're gonna trade with real money, I would suggest start out with something small until you establish consistency. Otherwise, I don't think you have any business trading large size with some of these names like GMVD. But that's it, guys. I appreciate everyone joining this morning. I hope you guys have a great weekend. Also, I want everyone to know that starting on Monday, our scanners are only going to be running from 9:30 in the morning till 5 at night. So scanners from now on are only going to be running from 9:30 in the morning to 5 at night. So no more 4 a.m. to 9:30 and no more 5 p.m. to 8. And if you believe that, then I just got you in a great April Fool's joke, because none of that's happening. I'm just kidding. It's going to be from 4 a.m. to 8 p.m. every single day. But guys, I hope everyone has a great day. I appreciate everyone joining this morning. I appreciate your time. I hope you guys have a great weekend. I'll put out a watch list probably some point today. And that's about it. But guys, have a great day. I'll see you in chat.